Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, January the 8th, the 4th at Gulfstream, kicking off the 20-cent Rainbow Six. Let's take a look at this field of $75,000 maiden claiming 3-year-old fillies going a mile on the turf. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We're going to take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this field. We've got a couple of first-time starters. You never know. Maybe one of those horses is going to be fast out of the gate. The 6 Hay Kitten, one of many horses dropping from maiden special to maiden claimer, expected to make the early lead on Timeform's pace projector. Mike, she made the front 3 back.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't have any real problem with the way they project this race. And I would just say that if she was my horse and I read Ortiz riding, I'd try to get aggressive with her. I thought that the two better races for her were 2 and 3 starts back where they were a little more aggressive. Last time they tried to rate her, I didn't think it worked out that well.
Let's talk about the field in post-position order. The number 1 is Better with Age. This is a more than ready filly who did not meet her reserve twice at public auction. A $35,000 buyback as a yearling, $32,000 buyback as an April 2-year-old. She showed a little bit of something in her initial turf start, but the last 2, not much. Johnny Velasquez keeps the faith. Perhaps the best thing you could say about this one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess her turf debut wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. I don't know what to say about her last 2, Dan, especially the last one. I mean, she basically did no running at all in that race. It's pretty disappointing.
Number 2 is Wasia. This is a first-time starter by Distorted Humor. Getting a little bit of a late start, but she was a May foal, so maybe it just took her a while to grow into herself. She was a $70,000 yearling that sold way up to $180,000 as a 2-year-old in training, but Brendan Walsh is offering her in for $75,000 here. And here's a formulator fact for Walsh, who's a very good trainer. Past 5 years, 3-year-old first-time starters in turf routes, 0 for 32. This filly's got some turf in her pedigree, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Walsh, first-time starters, maybe he just doesn't crank them up all that much, but he knows what he's doing. And if this filly has any talent, I would expect her to run a little bit. Distorted Humor is a fine sire on any surface, and there's just a ton of turf on the bottom. Not only is there a graded stakes winner in there, but just a bunch of really solid, like a bunch of horses, especially that we know, Dan, because a lot of New York breds that were really good turf horses in this family.
That graded stakes winner was Conquest Daddio, who was a graded winner at 2 Up in Canada. Mike mentioned Distorted Humor, 16% winners with older debut runners. The number 3 is Unexplainable. This is a filly by Will Take Charge. The dam won a couple of times on the turf. She was a stakes winner in an off-the-turf race over Sloppy Going. I thought this filly did some okay things in her debut, Mike. That race produced 3 next out winners. The winner of that race came back to win the Ginger Brew Stakes with the 78 buyer. And Unexplainable was sort of down inside, a little bit tight in the stretch. I thought she finished with some interest. I respect Ralph Nix. I'd use this filly somewhere.
Yeah, I guess it was just one of those debuts that when I watched it, I just sort of felt like maybe they just wanted to give her a race because she was away from the gate pretty well and she was in a pretty good early position, but they just never left the rail with her. It's almost like they didn't really expect that much from her. Maybe she'll take a big step forward here.
Rider switch to Miziel Jaramillo. The 4 is Love Ranger, a $40,000 buyback as a yearling by Noble Mission. This horse has only raced once on the turf, completely overmatched at 63-1. The winner of that race came back to finish second in the Sharp Susan Stakes with a 67 buyer. She's going to have to improve in this field.
Yeah, just needs to pick it up quickly, but she'll be a very big price.
First-time turf for the number 5, Omnia. This is a daughter of Munnings who clicks 10% of the time with first-time turf runners. The dam won on turf. Omnia, $20,000 short yearling, sold up for $47,000 as a yearling. I don't know, Mike. I wish there was a little bit more turf on the bottom.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know how I feel about the Munnings on the grass. Overall, he's a pretty good sire, I guess. This filly just hasn't really done any running yet, Dan. I thought one of the positive things was, at least to me anyway, when you look up the dam's past performances, and you can do that with formulator PPs, I don't know, she just looked like a turf horse to me, so maybe this horse will be more like her mother.
Number 6 is Hey Kitten. She's the 8-5 morning line favorite. And as Mike mentioned, when this horse got close to the pace, 2 and 3 starts back, she responded with 2 of her better performances. She came off a slight layoff last time out at Gulfstream, and she was in tight and checked when trying to split horses turning into the stretch. But I just didn't love the way she finished off that last quarter of a mile, drifting out considerably, swapping leads a couple of times. $95,000 March 2-year-old selling up after being a $5,000 yearling. She's got the figs. She's got the tactical speed. She's the horse to beat. I'm not sure how low I would go, though, on a win wager on this horse if she's a rather short price favorite.
I feel the same way about her. I think she's way the horse to beat in here. I don't know how short a price I would take win betting, but I just feel like you have to use her. You know, she did have trouble last time. If you're looking for an excuse for that race, she did have a little trouble. I don't know how much it cost her, Dan, but it cost her something, I guess. I just thought she ran really well 2 and 3 back. If she runs one of those races, I think she'll probably be pretty hard to beat here.
7 Special Liaisons, an intriguing first-time starter for trainer David Fox. This is an $18,000 yearling, should fit very snugly at this $75,000 maiden claiming level. And this is a half-sister to Casa Creed, a graded stakes winner on the turf for Bill Mott. Liaison, 7% with older debut runners, but 13% with first-time turfers. David Fox can win with a first-time starter on the turf.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this horse intriguing. Not only the dam side of this pedigree, which is just all grass. You know, you mentioned Casa Creed, the only other foal from this dam so far, and it's just all turf on the bottom. A bunch of graded stakes winners down there. We'll see what happens first time out. David Fox, you know, this one of the good things about this being the race of the day, Dan. You can use the formulator PPs and just look him up. First time starters on turf. He has a great record. If you want to filter that down to first time starters and turf routes, and make sure you add the 7.5 furlong races that they run in Florida. The stats get even better. And then if you want to filter it one more time and make it maiden claiming races, his stats are tremendous. He wins with these horses. Louis Saez, one of the leading riders, takes the mount. This horse working steadily for her debut. Harmonic Thunder is the 8. She's getting blinkers for Safi Joseph, who has started this meet on an absolute tear. This is an honor code filly. $120,000 buyback as a short yearling. She just got out sprinted in the early portion of her career debut, was under the whip a long way out, made a brief run in upper stretch, flattened out. I don't know, again, a learning debut. I'm guessing with the blinkers she can be a little bit closer to the pace. I think she can improve switching to Javier. Yeah, I mean, I think so too. If nothing else, maybe it was just more of a learning debut. I mean, at the end of the day, she really showed nothing first time out. She got outrun from the start. She never made a move into the race, and she was no factor. But I wouldn't be surprised if she did better here. Let's take a look at our top selections for race number 4, your Wednesday race of the day. Again, kicking off the 20-cent Rainbow 6. I'm going to go with Hey Kitten. It's a tepid selection. I'm going to use the 6, 8, and 3 in any kind of multiple race wagers. Mike, you like Special Liaison. You're really banking on Fox to have this one ready. And again, she just seems very well spotted. Yeah, it's, you know, Fox wins with these horses. There's a lot of pedigree on the bottom. I'm hoping it gets this horse through. I'm not way against the 6. I do think the 6 is the horse to beat. I just don't want to bet her at a short price. Mike's going to take 12-1 on the morning line for the 7 Special Liaison. We'll see if Hey Kitten can break through, dropping in for a tag for the first time. It is your Wednesday DRF race of the day. The 4th at Gulfstream has an approximate post of 2:35 Eastern. Good luck.